Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC London. Should we say UFC London 2? Blades versus Aspinall. We're back in London, baby. The first UFC London, probably the best card of the year so far. But will the sequel live up to the first one? We'll see. Yeah, we're back in London. Last week we were in Long Island for UFC Long Island, and I forgot to pull the card up before I start recording. Let's talk about UFC Long Island real quick and a quick recap, because you know I do this. Ducote and Panay. Ducote's really good, man. She's really fucking good. Stoltzfa and Grant fucking sucks. Jacoby and Jung. Jacoby is so underrated. It's not even funny. He's really good. Algio and Burns. Herbert Burns fucking sucks. Simone and Shore. Fucking wow. Ricky Simone's good. Ricky Simone is scary good. Scary good. Puna and Dulce, completely called that on the money. Murphy and Tate, completely called that on the money. Burgos and Jordan, should have been better. Schnell and Sumerdarji, fucking hell, fight of the night. One of the best fights of the year. Leach and Salikov, nice knockout by Leach. Lemos and Watterson, not shocked by Lemos winning. Watterson sucks. And the main event, Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega. I look at this fight as a no contest. A freak injury should not equal a win, but whatever. Yair, I guess, probably gonna fight Emmett next. Ortega, Qatar. Lame main event. Yair main events never fucking live up to the hype. Whatever. But yeah, that was UFC Long Island from last week. Fine card. But now we go all the way to London, England. So before I get into that card, before I get into this card, I should say, like, comment, sub, all that shit. 100 subs to go by the end of the year. And as always, let's talk some fights. 14 fights. This will probably be a 50+ minute video. And we start off with some old motherfuckers. Nicholas Danish Dynamite Dalby versus Claudio Hannibal Silva. Let's talk about Nicholas Dalby. We've not seen Dalby in a minute. It's been about a year. 37 years old. I did not think he was that old. In the UFC, he is 2-1-1. Wins Alex Oliveira and Daniel Rodriguez. Really good second win. He lost to Tim Means and had a no contest with Jesse Ronson. Dalby's not great. I'm trying to remember his fights, and he's not really great. He doesn't do anything really amazing. He'll put up a fight, but he's not a world beater. He's there. He's there, we'll say. I don't know, he's 37. Daniel Rodriguez, a win that has aged beautiful. Alex Oliveira, everyone beats Alex Oliveira. Jesse Ronson, whatever. Tim Means, Tim Means was on a nice roll for a minute. So, yeah, he's not. D-Rod's a very good win, but besides that, shit happens. For his opponent, the 40-year-old, like I said, old motherfucker, Claudio Silva, he's definitely fought more recently. About a year ago, a little more than a year ago. He's been around the UFC a while. In the UFC, he is 5-2. Most notable win, a guy named Leon Edwards. Losses James Krause and Court McGee. So, yeah, Leon is clearly a win that's aged well, and I'm not high on Leon Edwards, but I'll even say having a win over him is nice. Yeah, Silva's completely a wrestler. He has no striking. Yeah, he's 40, so he can't really take many punches. He gets rocked pretty easily. And like I said, he's a complete wrestler, so he's gonna try to get Dalby to the ground immediately. The betting odds do have Nicholas Dalby minus 275 to plus 225. I don't think I would have him. I don't agree with how high they have Dalby. I would say Dalby should be minus 160. And even that might be high because he's not a great fighter. He does have the fear of getting to the ground, where if it does, he's kind of fucked. And yeah, long story short, it's 4:30 in the morning. Long story short, if it stays on the feet, Dalby's winning. If it goes to the ground, Silva's winning. With that being said, I am going with Nicholas Dalby to get the W here. I think he'll keep it on the feet and do what he has to do to win. I'm going Nicholas Dalby by decision to start off the card, and a fine fight to start the card. It's nothing amazing, but you know, it's happening, so whatever. Good to see Dalby back after a year. But next up, we move on to some females, as we got Mandy the Monster Boehm versus Victoria Fury, not Tyson Leonardo. Yeah, the fight ain't great, but I am excited to see how Mandy Boehm does in her second UFC fight. She is 0-1 in the UFC after a bad loss to Ariane Lipski almost a year ago, where she made Lipski look weirdly amazing in a fight I thought Boehm was gonna win, to be honest with you, because fucking Lipski was so bad leading into that fight, but I guess not. And Lipski completely destroyed her. I think it was what, 30-27 across the board. So yeah, not a great looking destroyed by Ariane Lipski, but you know, what can you really do about it? If there's worse people to lose to. Yeah, I'm excited to see how Boehm does in her second UFC fight against much easier competition. Like, this is like going from fighting Khabib to fighting fucking, well, nah. This is like going from fighting, we'll say, Wonder Boy to fighting fucking, Mike Jackson. Like, it's a huge, it's not, you didn't come off a fight against the best, but you are coming off a fight against someone who's pretty good, and now you are getting someone who's ungood, very ungood, that's English, and thinking that ungood, not good, Victoria Leonardo, she's terrible. In the UFC, she is 0-2, not counting Contender Series, where she looked good in a win, but in the UFC, she got completely crushed by Manaj Fierro, can't get mad at that, and then Melissa Gatto completely destroyed her arm, can't get mad at that. I can't remember her even landing a fucking punch in her first 2 fights, because I don't think she did. Yeah, like I said, she's not good. She's big, but that's about it. Like, that's her only, what do I want to say, only positive, that she's a pretty big fighter. Because besides that, she has nothing going her way, to be honest with you. So yeah, and the Victoria's not good. She's really, really bad. Who knows? Can we see an upset here? I doubt it. The betting odds do have Mandy Boehm minus 140 plus 120. I would probably have Boehm close to 200 at a minus 190. I think she should easily win this fight. I really don't see a pass where she doesn't. To be honest with you, I think she got the debut jitters out. Yeah, she's gonna be in London, big crowd, big card, but I think got the jitters out and knows she needs a win, and I think she's gonna get it. So I'm going Mandy Boehm by decision. I think she'll get the W here. I want to see Boehm do good. I feel like a lot of people already have written her off because of a bad performance against someone who is not terrible, but someone you should not be getting completely dominated by as badly as she did. So yeah. But we move on. The first Brit of the card in the next fight, Jai the Black Country Banger Herbert versus Kyle the Monster Nelson. Who? I don't know. Let's talk about Jai Herbert, who we do know for losing a lot. In the UFC, Herbert is 1-3. Debut got knocked out by Francisco Trinaldo, then got subbed by Renato Moicano, then did knock out Carmer Worthy, but who hasn't? And then in his last fight, only a couple months ago in London, Alo Tapoya sent him to the Shadow Realm. So, yeah. He did land that beautiful head kick on Tapoya, but besides that, he did not do much. He pretty much got destroyed besides that. He takes a lot of damage in his fights. Besides the win, Trinaldo, bad knockout. Moicano got beat up a little bit. Tapoya got fucked up. Got sent to the Shadow Realm and beyond. So, the dude takes a lot of damage. And, yeah, it's been a couple months since he had a fight. But, fuck. That knockout definitely a year off kind of knockout. He's back within a couple months, so props to him. But also he's kind of stupid at the same time. He's tough. You know, most of his fights are pretty fun, but kind of stupid. Like, yeah, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. So, yeah, not smart. But for his opponent, Kyle Nelson, not gonna lie to you, I don't remember this motherfucker's fights at all. Apparently he fought Billy Q 2 years ago. I don't remember that. I cannot remember ever seeing this man in my life. He is 1-3 in the UFC also. He lost to Diego Ferreira in his debut. Then he lost to Matt Siles. Then he did knock out Polo Reyes. Who the fuck are these guys? And then he got knocked out by Billy Q. Why do I not remember this guy? Like, I picked his fight against Billy Q, but oh, that was on the Waterson Hill card. Yeah, I see why I don't remember this fight his fight, because I try not to remember this card. To be honest with you. I don't think anyone remembers this card, to be honest. But, yeah, yeah, I don't remember this motherfucker. I just don't. I won't lie to you. I won't act like, oh dude, I remember Kyle Nelson versus Polo fucking Red. No, I don't. If you told me this guy's never had a fight in the UFC, I would fucking believe you. That's the last point, I'm off track. The betting odds have Jai Herbert minus 275 to plus 230. I don't know. I think he should be the favorite, but do I really want to trust a dude who just got murdered in his last fight a couple months ago at a 275 favorite? Not necessarily. I think I would move him down to maybe a -2 on the money, but minus 275 is kind of fucking insane. So I do think the Black Country Banger will win, but I think saying a 275 favorite is a little fucking out there. With that being said, I am going Jai Herbert by knockout in the second. I think Herbert will get the W here and get the knockout in the second. I think someone goes out in this fight, and hopefully it's Nelson, because I'm not picking him. Jai Herbert knockout in the second. After that, not gonna waste much time on this fight, because we all know who I'm picking. We all know who you're picking for this fight. We all know who everyone's picking for this fucking fight. Muhammad the Punisher Mukayev versus Charles Energy Johnson. Do I waste much time talking about this? Muhammad Mukayev is going to be a future contender at 125, maybe even a champion. The dude's a fucking beast, a scary beast, and I find it hard to see someone beating him, especially Charles Johnson. Mukayev is really good, really good. Off of one fight, seeing him 6-0, 21 years old. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna be a contender one day. And he already beat Cody Durden. It made it look easy, and now he's already back and ready to get another W and keep the O. Last week when I said someone's gonna keep the O, they didn't. So let's hope I don't jinx Muhammad Mukayev. So, with that being said, let's be honest, I don't know who I'm picking as my lock of the night also. I'm going Muhammad Mukayev by submission. Yeah, submission in the first. I think he's gonna run through this poor dude. So, oh yeah, and the betting lines have him -490. Should put him up to 500. Muhammad Mukayev submission in the first, lock it in. Now, I'm not gonna waste time pretending like Charles Johnson has a fucking chance, because he doesn't. Okay? Good. Next fight on the card, a wrestling match. What are we in, about 20 minutes? Beauty. We got Mach 1, Mr. Finland, Americani versus Jonathan JSP Pierce. Let's talk about Mr. Finland. I think we all know Mach 1 Americani by now. Dude's been in the UFC forever. He's a complete wrestler. He rarely strikes. When he does, he's usually losing the striking match. So keep that in mind. He's not on the feet like that. He's bad, but when you get to the ground with him, you gotta be worried. Ask Mike Grundy at UFC London a couple months ago. He subbed him in 57 seconds. But we got fights like Burgos and Lerone Murphy, which shows on the feet he's kind of a fish out of water. So if you can keep it on the feet with him, you got an easy win in a way. But if you go to the ground, you either A, better fucking be careful and not get subbed and be really good, or B, you better be as good of a wrestler as him. Which I think his opponent, Jonathan Pierce, is. And let's talk about JSP. JSP, who in the UFC is 3-1, lost to Joe Lo on his debut. Can't really get mad losing to Joe Lo. But then went on a nice 3-fight winning streak, beating Kai Kamaka, Omar Morales, and Christian Rodriguez. The kid's really good. He's really, really good. He's really good wrestler. I would say he probably has a little bit better hands than Makwan. I don't know if that's saying much, but you know. And on the ground, I think he matches Makwan in a way. So that's it's good matchmaking. I'll definitely say that. It's really good matchmaking. One young up-and-coming wrestler versus the old wise vet wrestler of the division. Smart. Really smart. With that being said, what do I think of that? I think on the feet, it's anyone's game. I think both areas of the fight, it's anyone's game. On the ground, both guys are elite grapplers. And on the feet, Makwan's, I would say, is probably the shittier striker. But he can, I don't know, I don't look at Makwan as a really great fighter, to be honest. And he can just get really lucky with submission more than actually being really good. The betting odds tend to agree with me. Jonathan Pierce minus 225 to plus 185. I disagree. I don't know if you could really say, oh, Pierce is super clearly gonna win. Is he? Like, I think he will. Spoiler. But I don't think it's like cut and dry that he's gonna win. I would have Jonathan Pierce minus 120 to plus 115, like razor thin, but Pierce is a small favorite. I don't know how you have Pierce as a minus $2 favorite. It just really doesn't check out to me personally, but who knows, what if he just goes in there and destroys him? I'd not be amazed, but at the same time, I guess I would be a little bit. So, yeah. That being said, that was hot. I'm going with Jonathan Pierce by decision. 3 more prelims, a lot more Brits. What are we, about 20 minutes? And beauty. We'll get to main card soon. Be patient. If you're watching this post premiere, you probably skipped. But with that being said, we move on to our next fight. Nathaniel the Prospect Wood versus Charles Boston Strong Rosa. Let's talk about the Prospect. The Prospect he is. Nathaniel Wood, we've not seen in a while. He's meant to fight last UFC London, but he had 2 opponents drop out. So he missed that one, sadly. But we back for a second trip to the what do we call him, the pond or some shit, and let's hope he can get to the arena and get in that octagon this week. And if he does, we got a really young, underrated at this point, I would say, because we've not seen him since 2020, really good prospect on our hands. And I'm very excited to see how he looks after a 2-year layoff. And like in the UFC, he is 4-1. Only losses are John Dodson and Casey Kenny, so a wise vet and an okay fighter. His wins ain't much to write home about. John Eduardo, Andre Ewell, Jose Quintornes, and John Castaneda. Pretty much the guys everyone beats in the division if you're young. But yeah, man, I'm happy to see Wood back, and I hope he can get to the fight this time. Because if he does, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. For the opponent who I think a lot of us know because he fights a lot and loses a lot, Charles Rosa, been around forever and can't buy a win. It seems. In the UFC, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5 and 7. His wins ain't much. Like, he beats the guys everyone beats, Justin James, etc. His losses: Dennis Seaver, Yair Rodriguez, Shane Burgos, Bryce Mitchell, Damon Jackson. So he's fought kind of a murderer's row. Within his first 5 fights, he's fought Shane Burgos, Yair Rodriguez, and Dennis Seaver. Fuck. They said, fuck you, Rosa. Rosa, pretty much completely a grappler, to be honest. He really ain't known for striking, because he's not a good striker. Yeah, he is not great. He's 35, so it's not the hardest to get him to gas, and when he does gas, he gets worse than he already is. So keep that in mind. I really don't see a path to victory in this fight for Rosa unless he gets a lucky submission off, which I doubt. Or a lucky bullshit robbery, I doubt. He's not gonna win this fight. I think Nath Wood is without Muhammad Mukayev on the card. I think Wood would be the lock of the night for a lot of people. Cause again, how could you really be confident in picking Charles Rosa ever, let alone against a really young, good fighter in Nathaniel Wood? With that being said, the betting odds agree with me. Nathaniel Wood minus 490. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I could say lower or higher, but would it matter? No. So I'm going Nathaniel Wood by decision. I think the kid gets a dub in his return, and in London no less, so good for him. Nathaniel Wood by decision. Next up, the prelim co-main, a fight I honestly don't know how to pick. I'm not really looking forward to picking or watching even. Mark Bone Crusher Diakase versus Damir, the Bosnian bomber Hadozovic. I was talking about Mark Diakase. Another really well-known London guy absent from UFC London last March, I believe. That's something to keep in mind. In the UFC, Diakase is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 5. His best win, his last win against Vyacheslav Boshev, where he turned into a British fucking Islam Makhachev for some reason, and he easily won. But in all his losses, he's allowed getting beat. Takar Close, Dan Hooker, Nasrat Haqparast, deadly trio in a row. Rafael Fiziev and Rafael Alves. Rory can't get mad at Dakar, Hooker, Nasrat, and Fiziev L's. But yeah, win-wise, he's not beating great competition. He's still really young. I remember he was quietly hyped up at a point. He was quietly kinda hyped, and then he lost 3 straight. He won 2 back-to-back, and then he lost 2 more. And now people just don't care about him anymore, to be honest. And I can't blame him. I don't think it's that good. Like, let's be honest. If he didn't wrestle Slavaklov, he would have been completely killed. yeah. With that being said, on the feet he is pretty good. His chin ain't all there, but you know, he you know. And on the ground, apparently he's a fucking wrestler now. So, yeah. That's Mark Diakasey for you. Now talk about his opponent. Whenever Tapology wants to load. Talk about Damir Hazovic. He's getting up there in age. He's 35 years old. In the UFC, he is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4 even. Wins, not Yancy Medeiros. Really. Losses, Alan Patrick, Renato Moicano. So he's really fought no one great. The best fighter he's fought is Moicano, which I don't think Moicano is good at all. So what does that tell you? Yeah. I can't really remember Hazovic fights. I just don't really remember him, so that means he's probably not that good, because I remember a lot of shit. I just don't remember this motherfucker. What card did he fight Yancy on? Don Volkov? Why do I not remember that? I remember that card in main event, but I don't remember their fight. I remember I picked wrong. But yeah, I weirdly do not remember that. So, yeah. I do not remember Damir Hazovic. But, do you see why I watch breakdowns before I record? So I actually kind of pretend I know what I know. The betting odds. Fucking insane. Mark Diakasey. Minus 305. Plus 255. No. Diakasey should be minus 175. Plus 150. He should be the favorite. Plus minus 300. Not a chance in hell. I guess I'll go to Casey. I don't really want to. But I have more faith into Casey than to Damir. So, you know, that, whatever. So, yeah, I am gonna go Mark Diakasey by decision. I think he will get the W here, and yeah, I doubt I'll remember the fight. To be honest, I doubt I'll remember this fight by the end of the night. It'll probably be the shittiest fight on the card. I think it is. So what does that tell you? Diakasey decision. Now to round out the prelims with the last fight booked for this card a week ago, like legitimately sometime during last week, I think it was Wednesday or some shit. I'm happy the fight got booked. Ludovic Mr. Highlight Klein versus Mason the Dragon Jones. Let's talk about Ludovic Klein, who I think is on a bad 3-fight skid, to be honest. In the UFC, in my opinion, he should be 1-3. Beat Shane Young, but lost to Mike Trezano. Even though, if I remember, that was a robbery, though. Also, so let's say 2-2. He really got robbed against Mike Trezano. Lost to Nate Landwehr, and lost to Devontae Smith, I think. So, this guy and decisions do not go well, because either he's getting robbed or he's doing the robbing. So, yeah. Yeah. Klein, very hyped after his Shane Young win. But ever since then, he's kind of been on a downward spiral. Oh, and speaking of why this fight was booked so late, Klein was meant to fight Ignacio Bahamondes next week, but Bahamondes pulled out, and Nathan Jones was looking for a fight, so they gave him Klein. who I guess is like, fuck it, I'll fly to UK over going to Texas. Props to Klein for accepting this fight on the shortest of notices, and yeah, I'll give him props when it's due, and accepting this fight on a week and a half notice is due. And I'll talk about the Dragon, Mason Jones, who I'm very happy to see back in London, no less. I literally made a tweet about this guy the day before, or the day of this fight getting booked. I was like, where the fuck has this kid been? And now he's back. In the UFC, he is 1-1 and really 2-0, or 2-1. Lost to Mike Davis in a war in his debut. Then really beat Alan Patrick, but Patrick faked an eye poke, Pedro Munoz style. And then he beat David Onama in another good fight. Mason Jones does not have bad fights, I've learned. He only has good ones. Yeah, Jones is really good, very good on the feet. Wrestling wise, I can't really remember much. Did we ever see him on the ground in his first 3 fights? I don't remember. It's yeah, I don't know. I think Jones is really good. People are saying, oh, well, why are people overlooking Klein here? Jones takes a lot of shots. Yeah, but he eats a lot of shots, so. And Klein had problems with guys like Nate Landwehr. Just saying. With that being said, betting odds, you have Mason Jones minus 330, fuck, to plus 260. I think Jones should win and will win, but 330 is wrong. I think Mason Jones minus 210, I don't hate. I think he will win this pretty soundly. I don't think Klein's that good. And I think Jones will win this fight. So I'm going Mason Jones by decision. I really find it hard to see a Klein win unless he gets a really lucky shot that puts the lights out on the tough motherfucker that's Mason Jones. So, yeah, I'm going Mason Jones by decision. Now we go on to the star-studded main card, which is very good. It is missing a certain Brit who pulled out, but we'll talk about that later. As we start off with some light heavyweights, as we got Paul Bear Jew Craig versus Volkan No Time Oezdemir. I'm not gonna go in depth on these two's careers. I think we both know them pretty well. We know Paul Craig as the crazy Scot who somehow loses every fight, but then somehow wins. Legitimately, the light heavyweight Charles Oliveira takes damage, looks like he has no chance, comes back and wins. Did it versus Krylov. Did it versus fucking. Ugh. He literally for a round was on his back getting punched, and then he threw up a triangle choke and got the win. The fucking odds. And he's the only man to beat Jamal Hill, breaking his arm. Oh, fuck, that was hard to watch live as a Jamal Hill fan, no less. Craig's really good. If you're on the ground with Craig, you better be shitting bricks, because he's ripping a limb off or breaking it. I don't know which is worse. So, yeah, Bear Jew's really good. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we got Volkan Oezdemir, who I don't think is really good. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he has a lot of power. So, does that really mean anything? Yeah, he has a lot of power, and, oh, he's really shit? Good enough. But he knocked out a little tasty, and he got a title shot against blah 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. No one cares about Volkan Oezdemir. He's a washed up gatekeeper who really was never that good, just has a lot of power, and now the next generation like Yuri Prochazka, Magomed Ankalaev, Dominic Reyes, Jamal Hill, who he ducked by the way, Volkan ducked, all are just going past him and gonna send him down the rankings. He might stay ranked for a while because he has shit fires like Johnny Walker sitting down there, who I think he beats, but that's Johnny Walker. So, Yeah, unless Volkan gets a really nice punch on Craig that sends him out, which Craig's a tough motherfucker, I don't see it happening. So, the betting odds, which I have a problem with, the only betting odds on this card I have a problem with, I think, Uzdemir, minus 150 plus 125. What? How the fuck is Volkan Uzdemir favorite? If we're going by power, yes. But if that's all we're going off of, then sure. If we're going off of fighter versus fighter, Paul Craig is better. Paul Craig should be minus 150. I would swap the odds completely. But I won't complain about picking Paul Craig to open the card as a dog, just like I did Lauren Murphy last week. Should have listened to me. When Vanessa Demopoulos. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Not often, but sometimes. Go bet Paul Craig, people. I'm not one to advise betting, because most of the time I'm wrong, but lately I've been on a roll. Vanessa Demopoulos told you to bet, she won. Lauren Murphy, I told you to bet, she won. Yeah, you might not like me, and I might be wrong a lot, but when I'm right, I'm right. So, with that being said, I am going Paul Craig. By fucking knowing Paul Craig. The thing with Paul Craig, you just don't know how the motherfucker's gonna win. It could be a KO, it could be a fucking submission. That's why I'm gonna go the scapegoat route and say decision. I don't think he's gonna go to decision. I'm just picking Paul Craig. I'm going Paul Craig by decision. Probably gonna break an arm. Good. How the fuck's it? Next up on the card, a fight I'm hyped for just because I really like one and the other one's not bad. The London favorite, and someone who I think most people like if you're normal, Meatball Molly McCann versus Hannah 24K Goldie. Let's talk about everyone's favorite Meatball Molly. Holy shit, did she have the highlight of all highlights in her last fight. At home, at the time, getting the knockout of the year in a holy shit moment of the ages. Knocking out with a spinning elbow Luana Carolina in London. Again, I think she was the dog also. No, she was a favorite flavor. As the fucking... Holy shit, Molly. Has Molly McCann ever had a bad fight? Gia and Kim, banger. Carolina, great knockout. Tashweda, one with her eye closed. Holy shit. Like, Meatball Molly, so desperately underrated until Patty showed up and gave her light and camera time, I guess would be the word I want to use. And now a lot of people know her and a lot of people like her because she's fun. She's just fun. Now talk about her less fun and talented opponent, Hannah Goldie, who I do like Hannah Goldie, but not for fight reasons. In the UFC, she is 1-2, losing to Miranda Granger in her debut, and then Diana Belbita in a bad performance. But in her last fight, almost a year ago, she got a nice armbar win on Emily Whitmire. Yeah, Goldie's game plan is get you to the mat and take an arm. If she can't do that, she's probably not winning. Just being honest, if she can't really strike for shit, she's a very bad striker, and that's very scary with who she's fighting, who's a very good striker. And this is a god-awful matchup for Hannah OnlyFans Goldie. Meatball Molly minus 400, absolutely could go up to 5. This is a horrendous matchup for Hannah Goldie in London against a really good, powerful striker. When you're not any of those things, you're just a wrestler with really big fucking arms. Goldie's only way of winning is wrestling the fucking head off of Molly McCann. Is she gonna do that? No. What's gonna happen? I think Molly will either finish her or completely 30-27. So, of course, I'm going to Meatball in London to get the W. Hopefully another insane knockout. If she goes back-to-back in London, 2 insane knockouts, holy fuck. Who does not love Meatball? Molly. I'm going to Meatball by decision. Next up, a fight you would think people would put more eyes on, but they're not because, man, the dude's washed. Nikita the Minner Krylov versus Alexander the Mauler Gustafsson. Let's talk about Nikita Krylov. I think we kind of know what we get with Nikita, but mainly a wrestler. Not amazing hands, can strike, but not great at it. He has wins and losses. He's not been in the UFC a long time, but he's been in the UFC long enough. He's had ups and downs in his career. His biggest win. Johnny Walker, where he legitimately just hugged him for 3 rounds. That's honestly his probably biggest one. Well, if you look at all his losses, Paul Craig, Magomed Ankalaev, Glover Teixeira, Jan Blachowicz, Misha Serkinov, OSP, he only really loses to good guys, mainly really good guys, and who Gustafsson would fall under that and would probably beat him if this was 10 years ago, but 10 years. And I say that because let's talk about the Mauler. I think he's just here for a paycheck, to be honest. He already retired once after a loss to Anthony Smith, and then he came back 2 years ago for a fight at heavyweight where he looked terrible physically and in the cage against Fabricio Werdum, where he got heel hooked in really quick time, if I remember. And now he's cutting back down to light heavyweight for the first time in 4 years to fight Nikita Krylov, a wrestler. I feel bad for Gus. He's here for the paycheck. I don't feel like he has the fire to fight anymore, because if he did, I feel like he would have came back sooner. Literally, he had his last fight booked was against Ben Rothwell for 2 months ago, but Rothwell got cut. Dude, he's taking fights against Ben Rothwell, where, by the way, he probably a lot of people saying he was gonna lose. People are saying he was gonna lose to Ben Rothwell. Fuck. Gus, if we're talking about this fight if we're talking about current Krylov versus 13, 15, whatever, Gustafsson, no question wins. But now he's 35. He's not made the light heavyweight cut in 4 years. He's coming off a awful showing at heavyweight against Werdum, and I think he's just here for the paycheck. Yeah, Gus, man, just stayed retired. If he gets to win, I'm happy. I think this is a fight where we all want a guy to win, but none of us actually think he's gonna. And the betting odds agree. Krylov minus 190. I would say he should be 200 plus. 200 plus, man. Gus is there either for a paycheck or for pride. And if he's there for a paycheck, he's really losing. If he's there for pride, what do you gotta prove, man? We all know you're a legend. We all know you're a light heavyweight legend. One of the greatest fights ever against John Jones. Took DC to the limit. Knocked out people, lost to people. Now it's just sad to watch. That's why I'm going Nikita Krylov by decision. I don't want to pick a submission out of just respect for Gus and Wayne sadness. Like, I really don't want to see Gus get subbed. It would be less hurtful to see him just get 30-27 and not take a lot of damage. But, you know, I think Krylov will win. And who knows, man? Who knows? I'm going Nikita Krylov. Holy shit, we're on to this fight. This fight is so meme-worthy, it's not even funny. Patty the Batty Pimplett versus Jordan the Monkey King Levitt. We all know Patty the Batty. I don't need to break down Patty the Batty. I feel like less of us, I know who he is, but a lot of people don't know who Jordan Levitt is. Levitt is that weird dude who twerks after a win. Yes, I said that. I'm not editing that out. He is 4-1 in the UFC. He's completely a wrestler. He has garbage hands. Like, really bad striking. I wonder why they booked this fight. Yeah, I'm not gonna waste much time on this fight. I don't see Jordan Levitt winning. Striking, Patty's better. Wrestling, Patty's better. Like, where does Levitt have a chance? A lucky submission? Yeah, and that's the long and short of it. He ain't gonna knock out Patty. If he does, it will be the most memed thing in MMA history. You know, the way I would love Levitt to win for how funny Twitter would be, but I just can't see it, man. Betting odds agree, minus 260 for Patty the Batty. I find it hard to not pick him here. I know people want to because they don't like him, but let's be honest, do you really think Jordan Levitt's winning this fight? No. So I'm going Patty Pimplett by knockout in the first. So I think UFC on purpose gave him a guy with no hands. So, Patty Pimplett by knockout in the first. Next up, the co-main event of the evening. This was meant to be, as I alluded to earlier, a certain guy who I've not said yet on this card, and I won't say sadly because he pulled out. No Darren Till. This was meant to be Darren Till, but Darren Till pulled out, and this man stepped in. Not the first guy named the second, because we got Jack the Joker Hermanson, not who stepped in, versus Chris the Action Man Curtis. I'm not gonna go into them that much because I think we know them both. Like, if you watch my breakdowns, I don't go deep into the fighters later on the card as much as I do early, because let's be honest, do I really need to talk to you that much about Jack Hermanson? I will talk to you about Jack Hermanson, which we all know he's a complete wrestler. Pretty bad hands in his last win against Edmund Shabazian. He was getting pieced up bad on the feet, but got the takedown and did his thing. Lost to Sean Strickland. Vittori beat him badly. He beat Gastelum. Cannonier beat him badly. Like, he's not great. He's not good. Like, I'll be honest, he ain't good. I've always said he's overrated, and I've been proven right more times than I like to admit. Actually, no, I love to admit when I'm right. And I've been right about Jack Hermanson. He's not good. And in this fight against someone with amazing takedown defense, this is going to be an awful night for him. Speaking of who he's fighting, Chris Curtis. This man, over the last year, is fighter of the fucking year. He is fucking insane. Knocked out Phil Hawes, knocked out Brendan Allen, beat Rodolfo Vieira without getting taken down once. And now he steps in on a couple weeks' notice, replacing the guy that a lot of people wanted to see on this card, Darren Till, against Jack Hermanson, as the co-main. And now he's opening as the fucking favorite, and is the favorite. Dude, this guy is living the fucking most... this seems like a story out of a video game. This dude's 35. He's had almost, what? Fucking... what, 40 fights or some shit? 35, 40 fights? Dude, if you ain't happy for Chris Curtis, you're evil. You're fucking evil, man. With that being said, the betting odds are pretty even. Curtis was a favorite at first, that they have closed a little bit, and now it's even, but I think Curtis should be a pretty decent, like, minus 150 favorite. Yeah, I think Curtis will win this fight. I think if he stopped Rodolfo Vieira's takedowns, he'll stop Hermansson's, and I think he'll get the W here. How do I think he'll get the W? I'm going insane. I'm saying Chris Curtis is gonna knock out Jack Hermansson in the second and move into the rankings, into the top 7 within 4 fights. I'm going Chris Curtis by knockout in the second. And now we move on to the main event. We're 55 minutes in. Beautiful. The main event of the evening. Another heavyweight showdown in London to close off the night. Afternoon for me. As we got Curtis Razor Blades, my voice is fucking gone, versus Tom Aspinall. Not gonna waste that much time on this. We all know Curtis Blades gonna try and wrestle you, and if he doesn't wrestle you, he's not winning the fight. We all know Tom Aspinall, scary good, scary fucking good, scary good. He's fucking scary. Long story short, Blades ain't winning this fight. How the fuck does he? Wrestling, Aspinall is better. Striking, holy shit, Aspinall is better. Movement, Aspinall is better. How does Blades win this fight? A lucky clip? Yeah, he could. A lucky takedown that leads into ground and pound? Yeah, it could. And do I think that's gonna happen? Fuck no. I'm not fucking insane. So, yeah. Long story short, Tommy is going to run through Curtis Blades, like he did Volkov and Arlovsky and Bordeaux, etc., etc. The betting odds have Tom Aspinall minus 135. I would have him probably minus 200, just cause fuck it. In London, kid's gonna be hype again. Minus 200. Cause I'm going with Tom Aspinall by knockout in the first. Gets him out there, and we all can go our separate ways. I don't see how Blades win this fight, man. So I'm going Tom Aspinall by knockout in the first. To go over my picks one more time. Nicholas Dalby by decision. Mandy Bolam by decision. Jai Herbert by knockout in the second. Muhammad Mukayev, lock of the night submission in the first. Jonathan Pierce by decision. Nathaniel Wood by decision. Mark DeCasey by decision. Mason Jones by decision. Paul Craig by decision. Mai McCain by decision. Nikita Krylov by decision. Paddy Pimblett knockout in the first. Chris Curtis knockout in the second. Tom Aspinall knockout in the first. There you go. UFC London 2, we'll call it. Broke down. Again, another great card in London on paper, and probably will show up in real life. Okay, that's done. A lot of talking. My voice is gone an hour later, and hope you all enjoyed the video. You'll hear from me again next week for a breakdown of UFC 277, Pena and Nunes 2. Could care less about that main event. Nunes is going to win. Simple as that. Pretty shit pay-per-view card, but whatever. We'll break it down next week, recap this one, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. Anything else to say? Not that I can think of. Like, comment, sub, all that shit. And 100 subs go by the end of the year. My voice is gone. As always, RX out. Daddy.